Well, what's up, y'all? Welcome to LilBigMan Gaming. I got that review. I told you I was going to have that review. That review for... Oh, excuse me. That review for Sonic the Hedgehog number 2. Man. Oh, man, I want... You know what? Let me give you a synopsis. Then I'm going to break it down to what this film is. After settling in Green Hill, Sonic is eager to prove that he has what it takes to be a true hero. His test comes when Dr. Robotnik returns with a new partner, Knuckles, in search of a mystical emerald that has the power to destroy civilizations. Sonic teams up with his own sidekick, Tails. Hold on. Okay, there you go. And together they embark on a globe-trotting journey to find the emerald before it falls into the wrong hands. So this movie picks up several. I want to say several months. I think it's a couple. Yeah, it's about several months later after the events of the first one. Is basically Dr. Robotnik, as you can see, has returned, and he's returned with Knuckles. Now, this movie, because it introduces 2 new characters, so you get backstories for Tails and Knuckles. Now, I don't remember in the games, unless they retconned it in the games. I don't really remember, but I could have swore, hold on, get my seat. I could have swore that they do, in the movie they do say that Knuckles and Sonic are from the same world, but they make it seem like Tails is from a different planet, because he actually says that, and I apologize for that. My phone probably gonna be going off a lot because people are talking about wrestling. But yeah, they say that in the movie. Tails said he been watching Sonic ever since in the first one, when Sonic was upset when he was running around the baseball field and he released that wave of energy. He said that's how long he's been watching Sonic since then. Cause he said that that wave of energy reached his world. And so I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I've been playing the game since the 90s. I thought Tails was from the same. In the game they make it seem like all of them are from the same, world, and that they could go in between, Sonic Adventures. Sonic Adventures did point out that you could go from, worlds, because they could come to our world and go to their world. That's where the concept of these movies come from the Sonic Adventures games. And I could have sworn that they said that I could have sworn that they was all for the same world. But anywho, the movie itself is good. How do I phrase this? Okay, so if you enjoyed the first movie, if you enjoyed it, like if you went to see the first movie like I did, and you enjoyed it like I did, then you're gonna love this movie. You're gonna love Sonic the Hedgehog 2 if you enjoy this movie. Now, if you're for the people, if you're like in the category of people who's like, I was mad, or it was like okay, or if you one of them, you're probably gonna have the same reaction, because it doesn't change the formula from the first one. It kind of is like the same formula, but they up it obviously for the second movie. They put some stuff in there. It's big nostalgia pops. You get like, I like the whole concept why Sonic doesn't like water, and we actually get like a sort of nod to Sonic's death animation when you underwater, and you know it goes. You don't get that, but you don't get that music, but you get the whole when it happens, and he goes oh like that. You know, you do get a little bit like that. But yeah, they explore Knuckles' origins. They do go back to that scene from the first one where, in the beginning, where Sonic was like running away from the Enchindas, and the owl was saving him. They explored what led up to that. The acting was good. The acting was good. The acting was good to me. The acting was good because you could be like, you know, if you one of the people who didn't like the first one, you could be like, well, I ain't kind of, you know, it was good to me. The movie itself, yeah, the movie itself was good. I enjoyed myself while I was there. It even got me to do some Spider-Man like reactions, and what I mean by Spider-Man like reactions, like when you went to go see Spider-Man, you know, Toby and Andrew came on the screen, you was like, yeah. You know, you start, yeah. It got me to do that a couple of times, so it did for me. It did its job, and I don't mean just at certain parts. I mean like certain. It got me to do that mostly with the nostalgia, like the callbacks to the video games. Like when they put something from that you know is from the video games in there, and you like that got me to go, oh yeah, that was awesome. Well, I actually went like that. I like the callback to the team up moves that you could do with I was about to say Knuckles. Tails. I like Tails' character. Tails was cool. Tails, for me, Tails was just about what I thought Tails was going to be in here, because that's pretty much how the game portrays Tails, is that he's basically Sonic's sidekick and like fan. Sonic was Sonic, and like Sonic basically in like what they were saying in the synopsis was that he's been since the first movie, he's been trying to like be like a vigilante, like superhero, you know, representing the Batman and all that type of stuff. He's trying to be like that, but he's like messing it up. So and then you know his what was that dude's name? Tom. Tom has to tell him, you know, settle it down a little bit. Your time will come when your powers are needed, and you'll be able to use your powers to the best of their ability to actually do some good instead of just like trying and messing it up. You actually will do it. And then, of course, we get Dr. Robotnik's return. He introduced Knuckles, and like I said before, this would once Knuckles introduced, they die. Once Knuckles and Tails are introduced, it's like intertwined. Not almost every scene. I want to say every other scene or every couple other scenes, there's a story about Knuckles and his backstory, a story about Tails and where he comes from. You know, I like that. I do like how you'll see when what I'm talking about when they talk about how unique Tails is. And you'll know what I mean by that when you see it, because it's a scene between him and Sonic where they're having a conversation, and he basically tells him how unique he is, but the downfalls of him being unique. This is all about, like, it had like a family vibe to it. Like, you know, this movie's obviously for the family to go see. You know, you go see with your maybe your mother, your brother, sister, whatever, or your wife and kids. It's definitely like that, and it definitely has like a family theme to it, because it was all about reconnecting and finding a family, and it stands for. It stands just not from just the human characters, but for Knuckles, Tails, and Sonic. It was all about finding a family and trust and creating bonds. Idris Elba as Knuckles did a superb job. I love him as Knuckles. He played like the comedy with Knuckles. Like Knuckles' comedy in the movie is one of those where when he does something serious, he's like overboard with it because you don't really need to be that serious about it. Like I'll give you an example. It was a scene where he's reading texts and he reads them. He's reading the text, but he's reading them like very angrily and aggressively. And then you know how when you got somebody texting you in the text message or in the group chat, like if you on Messenger or something, and the three dots pop up. He was reading it aggressively. Then when he got to that, he just kept saying and dot. And you just saw Robot, and they're like, okay, like because he didn't understand. He didn't understand. He thought that was just basically how that was supposed to go. He didn't understand you wasn't supposed to literally, even if you read out loud, you're not supposed to read the dots. But it was funny to me how he did, like his comedy comes from not understanding stuff and doing stuff like he didn't understand the concept of a handshake, or not the concept of it, but he understood what it meant once it was explained to him, but he didn't understand that when you give a handshake, not to break people's hands. But Knuckles was perfect. I love Knuckles. The visuals was great. I love the visuals. The visuals for Sonic, like I honestly think they did a little bit of upgrading on the visual wise from the first movie when it comes to the Sonic characters like Sonic, Knuckles, and Tails. I feel like they did an upgrade on there. I didn't know Sean Ashmore was in this movie. I was surprised when I saw him. I'm like, wait a minute, when did I miss that he was going to be in here? But yeah, Jim Carrey was superb. He's always funny. Like every time he's on screen, he got a laugh out of me. So he definitely did his thing. He definitely did not disappoint with the comedy. There's a post-credit scene, but I said when I mean, well, I got tongue-tied there. That's why I just stopped. But yeah, there's a post-credit scene, as in a mid-credit scene. There's no credits after the after the whole credits goes away, but there is a mid-credit scene to set up a sequel. And man, that mid-credit scene is good. If you know your Sonic, if you're a Sonic fan, you've been playing Sonic games, and you know, not just from the 90s, but from the 90s to the 2000s and onward, you're gonna get your payoff with that end credit scene. If you were thinking about who, what, when, and where, yeah, it's in there. I'm gonna give this movie I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 big ups, just because for me I had a good time and I enjoyed myself. It was a treat to me. It was an early birthday gift to me. Somebody took, I got taken to go see it as an early birthday gift. But the movie was good. I think the only thing I didn't like about it was the somewhat of the pacing. Like there was moments that was like slow, but it wasn't too bad, because once you get Sonic and then back on screen, once you get that, I guess I would say like when they went back to any scene with Sonic and them was the best scenes, and every other scene was okay with the humans and stuff. Besides Robotnik was the only time where you have a human on screen, in my opinion, that it didn't feel a little slow or stale. But other than Robotnik, and his assistant, I said Robotnik and his assistant, everything else was like the comedy with the dumb police partner, or the dumb police dude who works with Tom, was kind of like the comedy with him was kind of like okay. It got me to smile a little bit, but yeah, like stuff like that. When it comes to the comedy in that aspect, like from everybody else other than the Sonic characters and Robotnik, everybody else kind of felt okay. Like they comedy and that pacing with them and their story was kind of like in the okay meh area, but it was overshadowed to the point where I If you get what I got, why you see why I stopped and I went. So take that as you will. Yeah. So I'm gonna let you guys go before I get to rambling. I was gonna say, yeah, I think I was just about to say like everybody else acting was okay. The comedy with everybody else besides Robotnik and the gang characters was meh. And then when it got to was meh to okay. For me, it was okay, and then everybody else was like great comedy and stuff from the game characters and Robotnik himself. Oh, there is a scene too where something happens and when Robotnik is in like his big Robotnik suit that we saw like from the trailers, it something happens to him where when he's speaking through the robot, he sounds like the old school like maybe cartoon or the earlier 2000 versions of Robotnik's voice. So that was kind of a cool callback. But yeah, you let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this Sonic the Hedgehog 2 if you've seen it. As I always like to say, no spoilers. And no spoilers in the comments. No spoilers. I kind of gave you, if you can figure out what I did, I kind of sort of gave you one. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you thought of this movie without spoilers. And yeah, if you enjoyed this review, you hit that button right there in the upper right corner for all of my movie reviews. And if you enjoyed this review video so much you want to support the channel, you gotta do is hit that like, subscribe, share, hit that notification button, do all those great things because I love you guys. And when you give me feedback, it lets me know that you love me and you love my videos. And as always, hit any one of these videos for more of my amazing content, but don't go anywhere because I got a reaction and some gameplay videos with a special gameplay video mixed in there. I threw y'all a good one, a good little curveball mixture upper in that one. So peace out.